Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. Today I've got some really big stuff, starting with an AMD only vulnerability. Intel's 10nm desktop CPUs could change everything, and Nvidia's next-gen specs leak. Okay, it's news time, and first up for today, I've got some bad news for AMD owners, which I guess includes me since my main rig is AMD.
By the beard of Zeus.
Either way, a new white paper was released by Graz University of Technology, which details two new side-channel attacks coined takeaway attacks, and what comes as a surprise is that they're specific to AMD processors. The attacks can essentially leak data by manipulating the L1D cache predictor. According to the university, these affect AMD CPUs from 2011 to 2019, so that includes Zen-based processors. One thing I will note is that while they were funded by multiple companies, Hardware Unboxed found that one was Intel. With that said, it's only fair to note that Intel has also funded teams that found vulnerabilities in their own processors, so I don't think this is necessarily Intel trying to dig up dirt, though it isn't exactly a good look. Either way, AMD did respond to the paper, and they stated that these are actually not new and that they have been mitigated already, but one of the authors disagreed. Of course, as with most of these side-channel exploits, there isn't a known case of anyone actually using them besides the researchers, and usually the main fear is on servers rather than any individual PC, though it's always best to use safe practices. And speaking of using good practices, if you get the new 14nm+++++ squared shirt today, you can get 10% off with the new code MARCHFLASH in all caps. Actually, my entire store is 10% off, but the sale ends at midnight, so hurry up and pick yours up before they're gone. Check that out in the link in the description or below this video. Next up for today, we have a leak on Intel's Alder Lake S series of desktop CPUs, and to say it's interesting would be an understatement. The leak actually comes from a couple places, the well-known Twitter leaker Momomo, as well as on a Chinese shopping forum ptt.cc. Now, we're talking Intel's 12th gen series, so it is quite a ways away, which means this is more of a rumor at this point, but with it comes a massive change for Intel if true. For those who don't know, in 2011, ARM completely changed the mobile industry with an architecture philosophy they call Big Dot Little. Basically, it's a processor with small and big cores. The small cores handle less taxing tasks like background processes, etc., while the big cores handle your more advanced processes. It's used in the mobile space because of its battery-saving advantages. What's wild here is that you can see that these are S processors, so we're talking desktop CPUs, yet they clearly use the same philosophy. The only reason I could think that would push Intel to use this on desktop would be for cost-saving reasons, and that makes sense considering this is expected to be on Intel's 10nm process. Now, if we look at the specs here, we can see that it comes with up to 16 cores and a TDP of up to 125 watts. But 16 cores, what a jump. Sure, 8 are smaller cores, but we're talking mainstream desktop chips, and given the task, it may be similar performance. Of course, how well this fares in more professional workloads that utilize all cores is tough to say. Now, the bad news, if this is true, it also comes with a new socket. Basically, yet another time Intel would force their users to purchase another motherboard, but it is interesting as these are expected to use PCI Express 4.0. Either way, I'm excited to see how this could work in the desktop space, and with Intel's new 10nm process nonetheless. Of course, that is years away, and AMD will likely be on 5nm by then. We'll just have to see how things go. Lastly for today, we have a potential leak from the Chinese forum Stage 1, and while I don't know the user, WCCF Tech claims that they're known for posting leaks. Of course, still keep in mind where it's coming from. Either way, he shared the specs for Nvidia's upcoming GA100 GPU, which for those who don't know would be Nvidia's next-gen Ampere monster. Now, given all we've seen leaked so far, some of this doesn't come as a huge surprise, but the potential for Nvidia's next-gen tech is still nearly unbelievable. So, according to the user, Nvidia's GA100 comes with 128 stream processors, which would end up being a whopping 8,192 CUDA cores. Of course, given we've seen the 124 CU chip, we knew this was possible. It also comes with either 24 or 48 gigabytes of HBM2E memory, which once again means we are not talking about mainstream cards here. The price is pretty much going to be massive. Now, the part that ends up being the most surprising comes down to the boost clock being 2.2 gigahertz. That is going to be incredible if true, because it's so much faster than the GV100, and coupled with over 8,000 cores, this GPU is set to be a giant leap over last gen. Of course, how that translates into mainstream parts is tough to say, but I'll just say that Nvidia has a lot of wiggle room. So while that does it for today, is Intel's 12th gen going to be impressive, or will AMD's 5nm Ryzen mean it's DOA? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe, and as always, have a great day.